The following is a presentation of William Patterson University Television.
Hello, I'm your host, Chris Turner-Amando, and welcome to the WP Wrestling Show. Today we're with our analysts, Danny Frost and Pat Vega, and we will be analyzing WrestleMania 34's pay-per-view. Now, the first match was a mixed tag team match between Triple H and Stephanie McMahon versus Ronda Rousey making her in-ring debut and Kurt Angle, a match that a lot of people thought would disappoint. Danny, we'll start with you. What did you think of this match?
I said it all week. I fully expected this to be the worst match on a very good show. Therefore, still good. I thought it would be technically a bad match, but entertaining enough. And I think this might be the match of the night. If not this, maybe Charlotte Asuka. But for me, this is the match of the night. And Ronda, her performance was unbelievable. Stephanie McMahon in her first ever WrestleMania match, unbelievable performance. I think the only person that really didn't show up was Kurt Angle. If you told me in a match of 4 people, Kurt Angle would be the weakest performer, I don't think I'd believe you, but that's what happened on Sunday.
Pat, what'd you think of it?
Everyone knows how I feel about Ronda Rousey. I'm not a fan of her at all, but man, did she make me eat my own words. She killed it out in the ring. She's been wrestling forever. And your first match is on WrestleMania, the grandest stage of them all, and you come out there and put that performance with those 3 big stars. Obviously, they're big stars. They know what they're doing. They know how to carry her a little bit. But she was working with someone that's never worked really in the ring since Stephanie. When's the last time Stephanie's been in the ring? So I give full credit to Ronda. Ronda was the star of the show and the star of WrestleMania.
Not to mention, everyone was kind of like, this is the main attraction for a casual fan. So it has the leeway of being a little and a little all right.
Didn't have to be like a 4 or 5-star classic. It just had to be entertaining.
Exactly.
Entertaining and fun.
If you expected it to be that 5-star classic, then you were going to be disappointed. But if you were expecting it to be the 5-star classic, then you were proven right. Because this match, I don't know what more you could expect from these 4. Yeah, honestly, nothing. 10 out of 10 from what they could have given. Now, Pat, we'll start with you. Out of the 4, who was the most impressive to you?
Oh, Ronda, easily. Ronda was absolutely stunning. She killed it. Every single part of the match she killed. And like I said, everyone knows I do not like Ronda Rousey at all. I think she's overrated. I don't like her attitude outside of the ring. But the performance she put in the ring, and she kept me entertained. We were at your house, and we saw it. It was absolutely amazing. Ronda Rousey, great job, honey.
Danny?
Yeah, part of me almost wants to say Stephanie McMahon just because of how little she's wrestled in her life and how good she still did on such a big stage. But, I mean, come on. The star of WrestleMania 34 is Ronda Rousey. It's got to be.
Yeah, I almost want to give Stephanie a lot more props than she's really getting because
nobody's talking about how great she did.
Exactly. When you think of a McMahon wrestling, besides Shane, Vince and Stephanie are normally pretty poor, to be honest. Yeah. But Stephanie wowed everyone, honestly, more than Ronda. But Ronda just was a complete 180 to what everyone thought.
Just the whole story they told from the beginning of the match, when her pulling her down, all the little dirty tactics Stephanie was doing, just made the match even better than what that I thought it could be.
Yeah, the clear consensus here: Ronda Rousey, easily the best performer in this matchup, just wowed everyone. No one expected that performance from Ronda, and to be honest, it's got everyone looking forward to the future of Ronda Rousey. Now, moving on to one of the most hyped matches of the night, AJ Styles defending his WWE Championship against Shinsuke Nakamura. Pat, we'll start with you this time. What did you think of that match? Did it live up to the hype?
Okay, so big-time wrestling fans, we all know we seen the New Japan match. Obviously, this is a match we always wanted. We never thought we'd get this match in WWE. It didn't live up to the hype that we wanted. Obviously, it was a little underwhelming, but it was still a good performance. It was still a good wrestling match. But I hope it's just obviously just part 1, so hopefully they bring a little bit more next time. Maybe AJ Styles is still hurt from that injury he suffered in Madison Square Garden, so we will see, and I hope it's better.
Danny, what do you think?
And that footage that we were just showing you there, that was their match from Wrestle Kingdom, I want to say 2 or 3 years ago in Japan, and that's what a lot of people were expecting. And to those people, I would say, I understand you, but you did yourself a disservice, because anybody who really watches WWE and watches Japanese wrestling, you know that WWE is not going to present something that looks like that. It's just 2 completely different styles. However, they did work a very similar Japanese type style in the beginning of this match. It was a lot of stiff strikes. It was a lot of methodical actions, no wasted movements, and that, in a sense, is a very Japanese style of wrestling. It just never really kicked into that 5th gear like the match at Wrestle Kingdom did.
It kind of felt like they did a homage back like their old days. Very stiff, just hard hitting each other and all that. Right. But like you said, no one should have got that excited for. Not that excited, but should expect the match they had in Wrestle Kingdom, and especially the way Shinsuke's been a little lazy since he got the call up.
Well, I don't think the company itself did any favors because they really did not give a legitimate build-up to this match. They just kept saying, it's a dream match, it's a dream match. Well, if that's what you're going to rely on and that's all you're going to say is this is a dream match and that's why you should be excited and give me nothing else, it better deliver. And frankly, despite this being two of the best wrestlers in the world, it really didn't on the scale we all expected it to.
Now, Pat mentioned Shinsuke has been a little sloppy and a little sluggish since he's joined WWE. Daniel, start with you.
Yeah.
Was he better than Styles in this match? Did he stand out to you more than Styles did?
Well, I don't think he was better than Styles, but I think we saw something from Shinsuke Nakamura that we really haven't seen during his WWE tenure. I mean, when you watch that guy in New Japan, that was one of the best wrestlers in the world, and the King of Strong Style was not just a nickname. Ever since he's come to, the United States to join Vince in the WWE, he's been going half speed. And if you weren't familiar with Japan, you could still watch him and think, oh yeah, this is great. But if you really know what he's fully capable of, you realize he is holding back. But in this match, even though Nakamura did do better than usual, Styles was the clear star here.
Pat, you agree Styles definitely better?
AJ Styles, absolutely. We got the Nakamura heel turn, which I think we definitely needed. But AJ Styles, he's the best in the world. He carried that match, the whole match. And like I said, all three of us said, Nakamura has been lazy since he got called up from NXT.
Yeah, the clear consensus here is AJ Styles, one of the best in the world. Danny rocking his shirt right now, was the better performer. That's why he got the victory over Shinsuke Nakamura.
That's right.
Danny representing. Now we move on to the opening match, which was The Miz defending his Intercontinental Championship against Finn Balor and Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins going for the Grand Slam Championship, and he ended up getting it. Now, what did you guys think of the opening match? Daniel, we'll start with you. Did it live up to that great WrestleMania opener?
Yeah, I mean, this match lived up to all the hype. I mean, there was spectacles I was excited for. I was excited for Ronda. I was very excited for, Brock Roman. But I really did expect this all along to be the best wrestling match of the night. Not spectacle, not entertainment, wrestling match. And it may have been. I mean, the Ronda Triple H, all that whole match was very good too. But these three really delivered, and I think this was the perfect choice for the match to open the show. And all three guys delivered. The right guy won, giving Seth Rollins that Grand Slam moment at Mania, got the crowd off to a very hot start.
Pat, what did you think of the match?
Match was absolutely amazing. It might be one of the best opening matches in WrestleMania history, and it seems like we've been getting a lot of that lately with Daniel Bryan, with Triple H, Shane and Styles. Mm-hmm. So getting this match to open the store, it just popped New Orleans off. Like even in the house, you just felt the energy after that match. Awesome match, great spots. Everyone had their time and their role in that match to show off, and it was a perfect match, perfect start to Mania, and I loved it.
One thing I actually loved about the match was that it wasn't Demon Balor. Like, we kind of all expected Demon Balor would be at Mania, but it was just Finn Balor, and the crowd went nuts for him.
Yeah,
they proved he doesn't need Demon.
And that's the thing I think Vince is trying to get away from. I think he's only bring that out if he faces like a Bray Wyatt or like an Undertaker or something of that mystical nature, you know what I mean?
Or if you need to sell that Finn Balor can beat Braun Strowman, he brings out the Demon to defeat Braun Strowman. Mm-hmm. Now, Pat, we'll start with you. Who is your MVP of this match?
It has to be the awesome one, The Miz. The Miz, everyone knocks The Miz. He can't wrestle. He can't do this in the ring. He did a lot more than anyone thought he could have did with those two of the best in the world right there. Taking bumps, doing some good moves. The Miz stole the show for me. Amazing. It sucks that he dropped the title, but you know what? He'll get. For a fact he'll get it back. He has the baby now, so he's probably taking some time off. But The Miz stole the show.
Danny, who is your MVP?
I got to go with Seth Rollins. I mean, it's very easy to just say, I'm going to pick the guy that won. But, I mean, from the moment this show started, Seth Rollins' entrance was the first entrance to this match. And hearing 78,000 people scream, burn it down, was like the perfect way to start this show. That got me so hyped. His entrance was cool. We had, like, the colored contacts going on.
He was a White Walker from Game of Thrones. So if anyone's a Game of Thrones fans, it was a homage to being a White Walker and all that, which was dope.
And if you're not a Game of Thrones fan, it was still cool. It was still pretty cool. So don't worry, it was cool for everybody. But from the entrance to getting the Grand Slam moment to winning the title, I think the Intercontinental Championship is a really good representation of Seth Rollins, that like workhorse, best worker in the company title. And now the belt really feels like that again.
Yeah, it definitely does. I can see arguments for Rollins. I can even see arguments for Balor. But I agree with Pat. The best performer of this match was The Miz, to be honest. We saw a different Miz. There was no Curtis Axel. There was no Bo Dallas. The Miz was the workhorse of the match, kind of the general of the match, something we don't see The Miz do often. and he filled the role perfectly and fit his character perfectly, seeing a bit of a different Miz. Now we move on to the main event, the biggest attraction of WrestleMania. Brock Lesnar defending his Universal Championship against the big guy, the big dog, Roman Reigns. The match, some people think it disappointed, some people think it was a 10 out of 10. Danny, we'll start with you. What did you think of the match?
I'd be lying if I said it didn't let me down. I mean, I was a huge fan of their first match at WrestleMania 31. I was a big fan of the way they built this match. Oh, here we go, right here, WrestleMania 31. These two put on an absolute show. And then we had the Seth Rollins cash in. All in all, it became a very memorable Mania moment. But I was so excited to see these two go at it again in an uninterrupted match. And when it finally happened, it's just, you know, we had like the swerve of the century. Nobody saw Brock Lesnar winning this match. And I will say that's a thumbs up. That's a good thing. Even though I didn't enjoy the match, the fact that I thought this was the most predictable match on the card and I got it wrong is a good thing. But it's just the match to me didn't deliver.
Pat, what did you think?
Everyone's hating on this match. I actually enjoyed the match. It was a typical Brock Lesnar match, but Roman taking some crazy bumps in, 7 or 8 F5s.
Yeah,
My man was taking a bunch of elbows. Again, Brock being stiff as ever, cutting Roman open. So clearly it was kind of some real blood because Roman's head yesterday on Raw looked like it was indented. So to me, it wasn't WrestleMania 31 match. We all know that because they actually had some crazy and good spots there. But this one, good match, not great for a main event. But for me personally, enjoyed it. I just think the fans ruined it, honestly.
I completely agree that the fans were
Bad
definitely they were the sour part. They didn't want to see Roman win, and he didn't win, and they still booed that Brock won. Well, you can't really have the best in both worlds. And like I said before we even came on air, that a lot of people want to be right, and when they were proven wrong, they almost had this sense like, oh, why'd you prove me wrong? I want to be proven right. Well, that's the
Typical
beauty of
wrestling
wrestling.
fans.
Yeah,
Typical
Whereas
wrestling
I
fans.
was the opposite. When I'm
Exactly.
wrong, I'm pumped.
yeah, that
I
means
hate when I know what's
That's what
coming.
makes wrestling go and makes wrestling great. Don't give us a typical ending every single time. Give us that swerve. WrestleMania 31, same thing with Seth Rollins. This one, Brock Lesnar winning.
Now, Pat, Roman or Brock, who is better?
Oh, Roman all the way. Roman took all the bumps in the match. All Brock took was 2 spears, maybe a couple Superman punches. Roman took 7 or 8 F5s, elbows to the head. You have to give it to Roman. He did pretty much the whole thing.
Danny, you agree?
This, 10, 12, whatever it was, minute match is a perfect representation of the last year of WWE programming. Roman did all the work, and Brock's still champ.
You're completely right.
It was all Roman. It was all Roman. The storytelling, the bumping, the big red dog that he turned into. It's all Roman.
Yeah, we can all easily agree the best performer in the main event was the big dog, Roman Reigns. Though he did come up short and didn't win the championship, Roman Reigns put on a great performance and gave us what every diehard wrestling fan wants to see every once in a while. He gave us the good old crimson mask and got a little bloody.
Finally, about time. It's been forever, I feel like.
Honestly, WrestleMania 34, some people weren't crazy about it, but I think all in all, the show was pretty good. Thank you, Pat, for joining us.
Anytime.
Thank you, Danny, for joining us
Absolutely.
today. I'm your host, Chris Armando. Thank you guys for watching WP Wrestling Show.